What's up, YouTube? Day 11, video number 11. I'm knocking that out of the park, whereas the past 2 years I only did 8. I'm already 3 past that. So, getting right into it. Watched 4 films today. First film was the film of the day for October Horror Movie Challenge on DVDTalk.com, and that was Cujo. Now, a little bit of personal trivia for me. Cujo was the first film I ever seen in a movie theater. I was 3 years old when I saw it. And I'm looking at my son, who's around that same age, getting to be almost 3, and I'm thinking to myself, is he able to watch this? And the thing with Cujo is, in my mind, if I told you that Cujo's the first film I see, you're thinking like, man, his parents are crazy. But it's really not that bloody of a movie. It's not really that gory of a movie. There's nothing really like overly, horrible in it. It's a dog attacking people, but most of it's off screen. Most of it's just a dog jumping on people, and it's very explanatory. Even me, like I always used to think, man, that's the first movie I seen. I can't believe my mom took me to see that at 3 years old. It's really not that bad of a film. Like there's nothing really overly crazy about it. It's actually I think it's a good film. Storyline's amazing. Like part of me is scared of dogs, but that's because I got bit by a pit bull when I was a little kid right in my ear. Anyway, part of me is scared of dogs to that extent, but Cujo had nothing to do with it. But it does add that element of a personal fear there. And I mean, obviously, it's the Stephen King book. I read that it's very well done in the different medium and everything. But just the way it was brought into the film, it works. I mean, everybody really is nailing it out of the park. What's her face? I just went blank on the mother for some reason. Dee Wallace Stone. She's awesome in this. Like playing I'm going to say the tainted heroine, because she's obviously not that good of a person, cheating on her husband and everything. But, she's there protecting her kid with this dog and everything. And basically, like, her life's on the line, but she's more worried about his life and everything, trying to keep him safe. And it works. I mean, there's tension built up with them stuck in the car with no heat and everything, and them both being dehydrated, and this gigantic Saint Bernard just sitting there waiting. And the dog's obviously has some intelligence, how it's sitting hiding behind the cars and stuff. Maybe it's because it's something that could actually happen is why it seems so scary. This is like something that could potentially, if it happened, if you read it in the newspaper, you're not going to think anything crazy. I mean, it's not zombies. It's not like mass killer killing 12 kids in one night or anything like that. It's a dog killing 3 people over the course of like 48 hours because it's rabid. It's definitely able to happen. Anyway, 6 out of 10. Love the film. I haven't watched it in years, so it was cool to revisit it. Glad that it was picked. I had it in a DVD set from the early 2000s. I probably saw it 2005. Maybe it was probably the last time I watched that film. Anyway, another film that I watched today was The Devil Rides Out, or The Devil's Bride, whichever you want to call it. And it's a Hammer horror film from, I believe it's 1968. And this is actually my favorite Hammer film. One of my top favorite horror films. Just for some reason, I just love it. I think it's maybe because it's Christopher Lee as a good guy, so it's something different. You always see Peter Cushing mostly as the good guy, and it's different to see Christopher Lee in that role. I mean, everything else you see him in, he's just always the bad guy. So it's fun to see him as somebody on the other side of it for once. And just the whole storyline is cool. It feels like it ties into that like 1920s mysticism. Like it feels like an H.P. Lovecraft type story. But it's just very well done. I mean, there's parts in there that are just genuinely creepy. Like the scene I believe it's at like the graveyard when they're trying to like call Satan forth, and he comes and he's just sitting on top of this tombstone, just sitting there, and the eyes that they gave him, they put a mask over this over an actor obviously, but it's this goat mask, but the eyes are like human eyes, and just it's so off-putting, and it's just so well done. And I mean, Christopher Lee just is phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing you can say about him. I mean, he's a horror icon. Everything he does, like everything he touches, is just gold. Like every role he goes into is just amazing. I mean, Dracula, Scaramanga from James Bond, Saruman, Count Dooku. Every role he just takes over and is just amazing at it. So easily 7 out of 10. This is like my 3rd or 4th time seeing it in the past like 5 or 6 years. It's a film I love. Like I said, it's my favorite Hammer film. And I've seen probably about 30 or 40 Hammer films, and this still jumps ahead of them all. I mean, it's up there with the classics, and it never gets its rightful due because of those classics and because Christopher Lee played bigger roles. Like, it feels like it's in like Wicker Man territory, where Wicker Man never gets the credit it deserves, but it's an amazing movie, maybe because Christopher Lee's only in a couple scenes, but those scenes he steals. This whole movie, he basically runs. Like, he's the main person in this movie, and just every scene is running through him. Like, he's the protagonist, just pushing every scene through. So easy 7 out of 10. Third film I watched was a Australian film from 1987 called Dark Age, and I've seen this film also. Just watching it again on a new Blu-ray transfer was actually nice, because last time I saw it was like a VHS that was like dubbed over 3, 4, 5 times, and it was kind of fuzzy and hard to hear what they're saying with the accents and everything. So it was good seeing it in a real nice clear picture, good audio. Anyway, it's a film about a saltwater crocodile terrorizing this waterway and everything, and basically it's Jaws, but not. I mean, it's a Jaws exploitation, it's an Ozploitation. It gets everything, but it's a little different with the sense that they don't want to kill it. Like, they want to keep it because it's part of the ecosystem, and because the Aborigines there view it as almost like a deity. Like, they see it as this like part of nature that is supposed to be preserved and everything. So very well done. I mean, it's all practical effects. Every attack scene is practical effects, so it's cool to see that. And they do not pull punches with this. Kids are getting attacked. Little kids are getting eaten and everything. So, I mean, they do not pull punches. It's a fun movie. It's one of those good movies that, like, you could sit with your friends and just watch, and you could riff on it. Or, I mean, you riff on it, but you're still going to enjoy the film. Like, it's a quick watch, only an hour and a half. It just, it's not exploitation. It's like in the sense of like Razorback. Razorback is the same thing, just on land, and they're both well done. So Dark Age, I give it a 6 out of 10. Fun flick. Cool thing is the main character in it is actually can't remember his name, but he's the killer from Wolf Creek. So seeing him as a good guy is interesting after seeing how bad and evil he was in Wolf Creek. So it's interesting to see him in that one. Fourth and final film was a slasher film from 1988 called Hide and Go Shriek. Another film I used to rent all the time back in the day on VHS. Just wanted to revisit it. Needed it for a checklist item, I think, on the October Horror Movie Challenge, and just something I haven't seen in a while. I forgot the twist, what it was. I knew like the one guy wasn't the killer, but I couldn't remember who the killer was in it. So it's your straightforward slasher flick. One night, stuck kids in a furniture store, and this killer just starts killing people off. The only thing that changes is this killer changes his clothing, so he'll dress as a woman or as a man, just trying to kill these kids and everything. And basically threw a love story in there, and a little interesting flick. 5 out of 10. It's not bad as far as slashers go, but it's an entry into the 80s slasher genre, which, I mean, if you've seen any of them, you've seen them all. But, I mean, it's cool to watch just for a little bit different, a little bit of the twist of why the killer's killing. I mean, for 1980, it's a little progressive. It's just interesting seeing him dressed up as a woman and man, trying to blend in, hide. The scenes I like are when, like, they'll show a scene happen and the people pass mannequins, and after they pass the mannequins, like, the shadows will be staying there on the mannequins, and the shadow will start moving. So one of the mannequins was actually like a real person. So that's pretty cool in that sense. But anyway, 4 films in. Tomorrow's day 12. Almost getting to the halfway point. So keep chugging along. Till then, I'll catch you on the flip side.